going on, gems? So in today's video I would like to do it from a flight attendant's perspective, what to kind of pack in your carry-on, whether you are a flight attendant as well or whether or not you're just going on vacation or any kind of like little trip. I've definitely, over the years of being a flight attendant, for those who don't know, I've been a flight attendant for 5 years now. You kind of pick up tips and tricks on what kind of works best for you. Of course, with the whole like security checkings and like TSA and all legal regulations of what you can and can't have with liquids and all that, so you kind of have to find ways to, in order to still bring the stuff you need but without it be confiscated or anything like that. So these are just kind of some of the things that I like to bring with me, whether or not I'm working the flight or if I'm actually going on vacation. I kind of use it coincidingly, so I want to share those tips with you guys. So let's get into the first one. So first things first, you're gonna obviously have your passport and your ID and all that. So I like to kind of have them all together in one spot. So I have this little tote here and it kind of labels everything, and you can kind of have it separated. You can even keep like all your other important documents like your ID and money if you need to. But if not, I like to kind of keep it light, and if you aren't bringing a purse, or you are but you want to kind of keep everything all together, I kind of have this like little zip tote, and you can keep all your cards in there, and you can also keep your cash in there and any kind of loose change. So next thing, as you guys know, planes tend to get very cold once you reach your peak altitude. So with that said, especially if you're going to a hot place, I know you don't want to overpack and be carrying like thick sweaters. But trust me, on the plane, you don't want to be uncomfortable that entire 3, 4, or even an 8-hour flight. So definitely, I like to kind of bring a scarf or just walk with something that you can easily just wrap around, whether it can go around your neck or you can just kind of have it draped around you. Something just to kind of hold, because a lot of the airlines, you do have to pay for a blanket or any kind of like pillow or anything like that. And then if not, you can always just bring like a light zip up hoodie or even just like a light cardigan. Obviously, I'm sure you guys will use it on the way back or even at your destination if it's raining or anything like that. In your carry-on, you never know what may happen with your luggage. Obviously, knock on wood, that you don't want it to be lost or it just didn't make it. Even for a flight attendant, you never really know. So I definitely recommend on bringing a couple items. You definitely need to have at least a change of top just in case. Even if you're not worried about your luggage being gone, but it's always good to kind of, you know, just have a habit of bringing like an extra shirt. So just like a plain t-shirt is always good, just a long sleeve, because you never know. So you just kind of have something that can go with whatever bottom that you're wearing. So with that said, also kind of bring this like an extra outfit. If you're going to somewhere warm, then, you know, just bring like a shorts and a tank top just in case, just so that you have something to kind of get you by for the day should anything happen. And if nothing happens and everything's all good, at least if you want to change off in the plane or the airport, you can quickly just whip on like the next shirt or put on your shorts really quick. And also with that said, it's always good to keep an extra pair of shoes. Personally, for me, I don't know anyone else who agrees with this, but when I travel or fly, I like to go with closed-toe shoes. Even if I'm going somewhere warm, it can be flats, runners, because like, I don't know, personally, anything could happen, like a luggage, like and you're going through the security, you gotta take off this and that. You're better off just having like ankle socks or like something you can just slip on, because it's like you just don't want your feet exposed and they're just out there. And then plus, when the plane's cold, it's just gonna get even more colder. So anyways, always kind of have like a little runners or a sandal that you can have in your bag to kind of switch off into. And again, should anything happen to your luggage, it's always good to have a secondary pair. With that said, I won't show you guys, but it's always good for ladies to have an extra bra and underwear. Again, should anything happen, at least you have stuff to last you a day or two. Okay, so next we will go with hygiene. I know it's always difficult on, you know, what you want to bring, what you can't bring in terms of like your toiletries and all that good stuff. For me, I like to try to scale down as much as possible to just the bare minimum essentials. So if you have one of these totes, it's really good because it's easy, you know, when you're going through inspection, should they have to open it, everything is clearly there and it's all small so they can easily see. And for your own convenience, it's just to kind of have all your toiletries in one spot. And if you don't, that's fine, because either way, having it in a clear plastic like this is just as good because they're gonna go through it and everything needs to be small and concise. So for me, I like to kind of put, you know, certain things, like let's say like a hair product or whatever, like in a little container like this and scoop it out, just because it'll definitely pass. And if you have any kind of like body washes that are small like this, or if you use bar soap, then that's perfectly fine as well. Or if you even have like a bunch of these travel packs, these are always good too. And ladies, I know if you don't have nails, and if you do, it's always good to have a nail file. So it's always good to walk with wet wipes, antibacterial wipes, because just to have on the plane when you're touching things, doing things, it's always good to have that, or a mini sanitizer if you guys have it. And with that said, ladies, it's always good to walk with your little deodorant, because you definitely don't want that in your suitcase and it's like shipped off should anything happen. And also, if anyone is traveling on long flights and you don't like to do the whole makeup, or your makeup gets cakey, which can happen when the dry air, it's always good to have just like some cleansing wipes for your face, and it's good for your hands and all that. With the whole makeup thing, I don't like to carry like a ton, but like my essentials that I like to have, I would definitely just put them in a little tote like this. So basically a makeup bag, and everything is like all miniature, so it's definitely good, and it shouldn't be flagged, like you'll have no issues. And like that, I like to keep, you know, lip balms, colors, whatever, eyeliner, all that good stuff, just in case you need to touch up your face. And at least you have your bare essentials should anything happen, like I mentioned before. I keep saying that, but you have to think about those things, because the worst is to get somewhere and you don't have anything and you're scrambling, and if it's like a foreign country and you don't know where to go, how to even access those things. Mind you, who wants to be purchasing all those things either? When it comes to perfumes and all that, of course we all have our nice scents and the bigger bottles and everything, but it's such a pain to walk with the whole bottle. And furthermore, it can also get flagged if it's too big and it get taken away. So personally, I like to walk with a bunch of these little, like basically samples, or if you guys have the little pump and you can pump your favorite scents into it. I don't have one as yet, but I just like to walk with these basically, and you just have like, just put a couple of them in your purse. They won't get taken away, and at least you have a variety of scents. It's small, compact, and it's like once you're done with it, you throw it away, and then you can always get a new one when you come back home. So personally, I like those. I like to walk with and travel with is gum, for sure. Gum, mints, candy. I like to go to like a bulk barn shop and just get them in like a little zippy, and just kind of walk with something when you want a little flavor in your mouth, or you want something to kind of munch on. Those are always good to have, because the worst is to go on the plane and you're like looking around for snacks, or you want something sweet and you don't have it, and you don't want to have to ask anyone else. So also with that said, I also kind of, I don't know, it's just a personal thing, but walk with like little tea bags and little satchels and little sachets, because, you know, they kind of just give standard on the most planes. If you don't want coffee, you don't want their tea, you can always just ask for a cup of hot water and dip your own tea bag. Also with traveling with your own, a pen. How important is a pen? Because when you have to go to those places and you have customs form, or if you have to fill out anything, it's always good to talk with a pen and your own. I know as a flight attendant, yes, a lot of passengers ask for a pen, and it's fine, and I try to give them like my good one, because a lot of times they're not going to remember to take it back, and it's fine, and you don't want to have to ask someone beside you, which is fine if you do, but I mean, it's always good to kind of walk with your own pen, your own stuff, should you need it. Also, what's really important to go with is headphones, if you want to listen to your iPad, your phone, or if they have the in-home theater movie on the plane, it's always good to walk with that. Personally, I just like the small earbud types, because these are the ones that are typically allowed in terms of like takeoff and landing, unless it's, well, for our company at least, because the big ones, yes, they're good, but a lot of times they ask you to remove it for takeoff and landing, just because should anything happen, you kind of need to be aware, and it's a bit bulky personally. A charger for your phone or for your laptop or whatever you're bringing, because if you're stuck anywhere and you need to plug it in, or if you're waiting in the airport lobbies, it's always good to have that, because if you're on your phone doing whatever and the thing dies, it's the worst, and a lot of times people tend to forget these. So with that said, I think that pretty much covers everything in a nutshell. I kind of like to pack light, because when you're traveling and walking with a lot of things, it can just get like disheveled and it gets heavy, and it's just really annoying. So these are just the quick, small essentials in your carry-on / purse. If you could, ladies, if you have like the big handbags, you actually are allowed that. And I like to kind of go a little bit like I kind of take advantage of that, because it's better to always have a bigger handbag, just so that you kind of still get away with 2 bags, where then you can also pack more stuff into your actual carry-on. So I'm going to show you guys the 2 carry-ons that are allotted to us. These were given to us by the company, but these are the same ones that if you are a passenger, you are allowed to have as well. So you'll see with the depth of space on them how much more you guys can kind of fit in there, and you guys can kind of elaborate on some of the items that I've shown you guys. So this is the first like travel bag that they allow us. So you can see all the compartments here that you can kind of fit all those items like I mentioned, like whether it's the clothes, you'll have tons of space to kind of fill it up and put everything there. For the toiletries, I like to kind of put them all in here, and the other like essentials, I like to kind of separate them here in terms of like underwear, socks, and all that. And then the other carry-on bag that we are given, that you are allowed to travel with as well, either or, is just like a bag like this. It's just a handbag, just like that. So either one, if you just want to bring the one, like I know sometimes when I'm traveling on just like turnaround flights, I can easily just put all this stuff in here and it will all fit no problem, like in terms of snacks and all that as well. So everything can kind of fit. So also one more thing to touch on in terms of bringing your own liquids and waters and all that, you obviously know you're not allowed until you actually get through the security checkpoint, then you can purchase your own. But should you have your own, like the little canteens, by all means buy one, because then you can always like refill it, and even while you're on your vacation you can easily just use that to be putting all your favorite juices and waters in there. And also in terms of snacks, they kind of like sort of not allowed, but especially if it's like fruits and vegetables and all those things. But if it's like a packaged small snack of like chips or whatever, depending on the airport and the airline and all that, I don't want to be quoted on it, but sometimes you are allowed, but not really. So to be on the safe side, I personally just kind of stick to like the chocolates, candies, that kind of junky food stuff, just to kind of snack on should you not be allowed to bring the other stuff. But of course, once you pass the gates, you can obviously purchase something. But for moms out there, if you have a baby, you were all good. You were able to bring your baby's formula, the milk, if it's already pre-made, or any type of food for them. So that's always a plus. So for you moms out there, that's a little quick tidbit. But I mean, obviously, what are they going to do? Take away your food? I mean, that's just wrong. That's just terrible, actually. I hope this video was informative to you guys, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you'd like to see any more of these travel-ish, flight attendant-ish type of videos, be sure to comment below. And I thank you guys so much for liking, watching, and subscribing. And until the next video.